Let me tell you a story. A story of a man who decided it was a good idea to play a 2D platformer about ninja janitors. A man who decided to go back and play a game he had played before, but was never able to finish. A good place to start the story would be to start with the game itself. Dustforce is a 2D platformer released all the way back in 2012 by Hitbox Team, with the soundtrack being done by the amazing Lifeformed. In this game, you play as a ninja janitor with ninja-like agility and skill that requires the ultimate amount of precision and skill from your side in order to bring out the best of this character. I'd played this game before about 4 years ago. Back then I got pretty good at it, but there are some stages near the end that I just didn't have the patience to practice on, and so I was unable to get through them due to that lack of skill. However, I still remember playing the game very fondly, and the game, while difficult, especially towards the end, is still an absolute blast. So as I was scrolling through my Steam library wondering what I wanted to play, I couldn't help but notice this little gem calling my name. Naturally, my skill has greatly diminished since then, so I decided to erase my old save and start fresh. We begin in front of a computer screen that takes us into a tutorial level in order to learn how to play the game. This tutorial level is pretty straightforward to complete, and you learn the basics of movement such as just running, dashing, wall clinging, and double jumping. But as we complete the level, we realize that we're given a score. Well, I need to make sure that I grind through the level enough to get that coveted SS ranking, a thing which will continue through the rest of this chapter and the rest of the story. With that tutorial complete, I jump onto the next screen, and I find yet another tutorial level. Oh yeah, I thought to myself, there are actually 3 tutorial levels here. This tutorial level teaches us the basics of combat. Combat isn't really about danger in this game or killing enemies, but it's a means to give your character even more superpowers. In this level, we of course learn how to light attack, heavy attack, and screen clear by filling the bar in the bottom left corner and then hitting both attack buttons at once. We also notice something cool which is taught explicitly later. Notice that when we do a heavy attack, a little bit of the dust appears behind wherever the object was. So if I hit the heavy object from the front, then dust will go behind the object and cling onto any nearby walls behind it as well as floor behind it. If I hit the object from below, upwards, then dust will collect on any nearby ceilings above it. That kind of thing. We have to make sure that we don't forget to clean that up. We beat that tutorial level and pass with flying colors, of course, grinding for that SS rank. And we jump across to tutorial level 3. I promise I'm not going to cover every single stage in the game, but I will make you watch them. Tutorial level 3 teaches us more advanced maneuvers, the dash jump, where if you dash, then immediately follow that up with a jump, you'll be able to jump at full speed without needing to build up any momentum with running first. Very helpful indeed when you don't have a lot of ground. The jump recovery technique. When you are in the air and you attack something, you get a jump charge or dash charge, your choice, back. This allows you to basically fly in the air if you have several enemies to attack sequentially. Later stages especially use this to their advantage to ramp up the difficulty. And finally, the slide, where you can hold down while on a hill to build up more momentum than you can by simply dashing or running. Something that isn't taught, but I remember from the last time, is that if you dash at a certain rhythm, which I can never seem to consistently get right, you can maintain that extra speed until you need to jump or wall cling, making clearing stages that much faster and smoother. So, with these tutorial levels out of the way, it's time to leave the Nexus and go into the hub world. I begin, of course, with the door right in front of me. From here, I'll let the stages speak for themselves. As you saw there are actually 4 characters to choose from. Each of the characters has different properties. I don't remember exactly what the different properties are, but basically, I chose Dust Girl because I think she looks the coolest. That's pretty much why I chose her. That's it. No other reason. Upon getting an SS rank there, and a lovely key, I go from door to door, completing stages in pretty rapid succession. Though I'm not as skilled as last time, which can be easily seen by the fact that even though I'm getting SS ranks, my times aren't as good as they were 4 years ago when that leaderboard shows up on the right. So, nonetheless, sit back and enjoy the playthroughs of the stages I've completed so far. Again, I would just really want to point out the music, because my god, I love what Lifeform did with the soundtrack. On a side note, if you want more Lifeformed, he worked with another artist named Janice Kwan on the Tunic soundtrack, which is also phenomenal. One may have been a little sloppy, but I still got the SS, so I'm still pretty happy about it. You may have been noticing that once I get an SS, there's a little bar that fills up very quickly at the top of the screen, and then lets you know that I got a key. Those are why you need the key. You get the keys to open the doors. That's the main reason why I try to SS every stage that I can, in order to get the most keys I can to ensure that I can unlock every stage. Something kind of interesting is that when you jump onto a ceiling, you can run on along it for a short amount of time. But if you need to run along it a little bit longer, you can still continue to hold up while pressing jump, and you can consume your double jump in order to keep running along the ceiling. So that's what you saw me do there. Another cool trick that you saw right there was that if your broom is long enough, you can attack through platforms in order to get dust on the other side. So things like that come in handy in quite a few different stages actually. So that was just one example. So the next section right here ramps up the difficulty just a little bit with regards to ceiling runs. What I do here is I jump onto the ceiling, and then I use my second jump to jump onto the next ceiling and drop right back down to the platform. From there, I use my jump to go along the ceiling, and then I attack the enemy there in order to get my jump back, use that jump to go onto the final ceiling, and then onto the following platform. As we move into the atrium, you can see that the aesthetic is starting to change a little bit as we move into the second section of the game. So you can see that instead of leaves, we're now cleaning dust. Instead of flying leaves, we're now cleaning dirty gargoyles, that kind of thing. the anime attack, as I've been calling it, at least for myself anyway, has a limited range. I believe the range is just towards the edge of the screen, so that circle that I did that in was fine, right, to do that attack in, but if the circle was much bigger than that, then the anime attack wouldn't have cleared everything out in that area. Something else to point out about that is everything has to be within a direct line to the character, so if there's any dust behind a wall and you do the anime attack, you're not going to get the dust behind the wall. Having completed the first few stages, I can safely say that this chapter of the story has concluded. Hopefully, unlike last time, this story will have a happy ending. I can improve my skills enough to complete the later levels successfully, but only time will tell. Well, this is definitely a new format for me, and it's definitely a stretch my very limited editing skills, especially if you've been watching my videos for some time. You know that I'm not the greatest video editor on the planet. Nonetheless, I do appreciate you watching this far to the end despite my incompetence as a video editor. Hopefully I'll improve that skill as well over time. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. I do hope that you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy learning how to create them. Anyway, please do all the regular YouTube stuff, especially comments. I love talking to my viewers down there. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.